So, what's the big idea? Well, it seems there are two possibilities here that we need to think about. Either you've already got a brilliant idea or two, or of something you want to do online, and you want to know if they are worth taking to the next level, or you have absolutely no idea about what you could do online, but you're keen to have a go at it. If only you can discover some things that you might actually be interested in pursuing further. Either way, this exercise should be able to help you. There are four main areas I want you to look at. These can provide some clues as to what you could or should do, or not maybe, as the case might be. And these are the things that 1. Interest you, along with the opposite, the things that bore you to tears. 2. The things you enjoy doing, and also the things you hate doing. 3. The things you are good at, and those things that you are hopeless at as well. And 4. May be related to your work, either current or past work. So it's time to take a trip back in time. Again, and go back over some of the things you have done in your life. Try to remember some of those things listed above. And the positive experiences you have had can hopefully give you an indication of what you could do online, while the negative ones are possibly something that you really might want to avoid. Now, this type of exercise is really hard for most people to do without some help, so I'd like to give you some clues as to the sort of things you should be thinking about. Some useful places to get your ideas could include asking how much do you know that is useful about, well, let's start around the house. Cleaning hints and tips. Cooking, budgeting on a shoestring, interior decorating, renovations, remodelling, purchasing real estate, gardening. Something else maybe. What about your hobbies? Photography, knitting, scrapbooking, model ships, planes or trains, rag dolls, patchwork, stamp collecting, pet care, birds, fish, reptiles, jewellery design. Heaps of hobbies, plenty more I haven't mentioned. What about your personal life experiences? Can you write about perhaps how to cope with grief, dealing with different sorts of diseases, dieting, weight loss, relationships and marriage and divorce, maybe how to bring up kids, how to make blended families work, or surviving career change or unemployment, or moving to a different town, moving house even? Are you into business in a big way? Okay, what about these then for some ideas? Tax tools and tips. Don't ask me to write that one, guys. Business coaching, preparing effective business plans, or finance and investment information. What about sports? Coaching tips in any sport, golf, soccer, unusual non-mainstream sports, horse riding, adventure, thrill-seeking activities, heaps of sports that you could perhaps do something with. Now look at your job. Look at the skills you've developed from your full-time employment. What's there that you can teach others about? You could also get your spouse or partner or friends involved in the process, and let them be as silly as they like, because once you just start brainstorming some of these activities, the ideas will flow and flow and flow, and be prepared to be amazed at the range of topics you can come up with. Remember, you are looking for the things you are interested in or enjoy doing, or you are good at, or the opposite if that helps. So here are some possibilities, more possibilities, to hopefully get that old grey matter ticking over. And please don't just give one-word answers. Preferably explain the who, what, how, where and when and why you could do whatever it is. After all, you're really the only one looking at this information, so don't be shy. So here are a few more suggestions. What about sports? Fitness, walking, running, health. Or maybe music, theatre, performance, and the arts. Back to the hobbies again. What hobbies do you have? Do you like crafts? Have you had any involvement in community work or community groups? What would your friends say you were good at? What about travel? Have you been anywhere interesting? What did you think about it? Would you rather be indoors or outdoors, and doing what? How about gardening or landscaping? What things have you tried in the past that were successful or unsuccessful? Why? Are you good at drawing or painting or designing? What about helping people? Which people? Helping them with what? And are you good at organising things or organising people? What special skills would you say you have? Do you like writing, talking, speaking, reading? And on what topics? Remember when you did the recent personality test? Did that give you any clues about things you could include here? What about helping businesses? What sort of things could you do to help businesses? Have you had any significant life events which you feel you could work with? What values have you got? Are there some things you simply could not do because of your values? Have you got any unresolved goals that you once tried to achieve? What plans have you made for your immediate or long-term future? What about your work history? Are there any aspects of your current or past jobs you could take online? Is there anything you would regard yourself as an expert in, or maybe even just fairly good at? Look, there's probably 100 or more questions I could throw at you, so look, it's best if you just use those ones above as a starting point and make sure you go really deep and have a huge brainstorming exercise with the whole thing. So grab a big sheet of paper and write down whatever ideas you come out with. Remember, a brainstorm is just that, a storm. It doesn't matter how wild or silly the idea might be, just write it down and don't try to justify any of the answers you make yet, alright? Because you can always rule them out later. And the next step is to try to prioritise these items into some sort of list. So at the top of another piece of paper, write down the things you most like from your original list, and then work your way down. And make sure that you put all the things you hate right at the bottom, because you should really try to avoid those at all costs. And you might have to do this sort thing a few times to get it right. The best way to sort it? Well, one way would be to go through the go wide, go deep method discussed in the lesson earlier on finding your why. Alternatively, you could write each item on a separate card or a post-it note, and then sort the cards and notes into different piles. Now, this card sort technique is a very useful tool which you might be able to use to sort a lot of different things later, so remember it. I really can't take you too much further in this lesson, as I just haven't got any clue to what actual answers you've written down, except to say that I would be very surprised if you didn't now have a whole heap of different things you could possibly have a good go at doing online. And that interest, or maybe even passion, you should have in those things is going to give you a huge advantage. Some people actually say you don't need to have this passion to succeed online. They say that passion alone will not be enough to succeed, and passion doesn't sell product, blah blah blah. So here's what I would say to them. Success equals doing something you enjoy that has business potential. Hopefully, with the passion, you'll wake up every day, motivated to take on the world with your new business, and you'll stay up late at night when you need to for nights on end, excited about giving it all you've got because you love what you are doing. And the commitment that comes from this passion will help you deal with all of those nasty shiny objects and everything else that attempt to distract you from your main purpose. And that sounds pretty good, I reckon. Especially useful for someone just starting out with an online biz. Maybe once you've got a bit more experience behind you, well, maybe the passion element might not be so important then. So now, I hope you've got a nice long list or pile of things you could possibly do online. What next? Well, we'll find that out in the next lesson. But if you haven't got a list yet, not good. Maybe it might actually be a good idea to have a one-on-one talk to somebody about what you have in mind. Hopefully they will be able to give you some further direction. Otherwise, well, it might be better to think about doing something else.